Hello, everybody, and welcome back to One Hub Racing Season 25 here for round two in Monza, exactly where we raced in real life today. And join alongside me in the commentary box. It's good to be back, Colin. Welcome.
Good evening, Nick. Good evening, all. Nice to have you back in the comms box. Um, I'd like to take this opportunity while we're live on stream to congratulate you on your recent wedding. Um, Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but I know a lot of the One Hub guys were there. So big congratulations to yourselves, and now a married man.
I know, thank you very much. So I have to get used to racing with a ring on my finger now. Hopefully, it'll give me an extra tenth or two.
Let's hope so. Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to tonight. Actually, we've done the weather already. As you know, we got a weather system where we have a set number of weather appearances. So rain, heavy rain, light rain, cloud, clear. And tonight's weather is dry, although there is some cloud about, so that is going to affect tyre temperatures a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And tire temperatures are going to be really interesting around this track because the left side of the car really does get a lot hotter than the right side of the car. So particularly in the race. So that's something the drivers have got to look out for. And I think generally on this game, tires are a lot harder. Or at least I've been finding out, tires are a lot harder to get up to temperature. So it's something that, this group, the P2 tier, are going to have to manage carefully. But yeah, nice to see some dry weather. But of course, this season with a bit of mixture of cloud.
Yeah, so it's definitely gonna to change it a little bit. Um, Especially some drivers use some of the shadows to gauge where they are regarding um, racing line and braking points, which isn't the greatest of tactics because obviously it does change, but it might put off a couple of the drivers that we've got here tonight. We obviously had our stewards' decisions published on Thursday, and unfortunately, we do have a three-place grid penalty for Jess for blocking in qualifying. So for the guys who don't know, and just to remind the drivers in the lobby, we now have a slightly different system now, the way that we create the races. So we will do a qualifying session now, but then it'll be a lobby restart that will enable us then to apply any grid penalties that there are, and it'll go back to the main lobby and start the race again then.
Yeah, I think it's a great system. We've been toying between different ways to issue penalties in the league for some time now, and grid penalties is something we've always been wanting to do. So this way enables us to do it rather than some time penalties. So yeah, grid penalties will be applied after the lobby restart. So whoever just qualifies, she will be given a three-place grid penalty and start three places further back. But I'm excited. I like this where they race in real life at Monza and then we follow suit later on in the evening. I think that's always help build the excitement and good fun.
Oh, definitely. It's quite funny actually because I was watching some of the moves that were being carried out, and it did give me a couple of ideas um, for tonight's race. Um, so yeah, I think having the race beforehand is actually, I think, a little bit helpful. Obviously, strategy is not really going to be able to be a gauge for it, but like you said, Nick, it really helps with the hype of the race as well.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of hype, we've got 17 drivers, I think, in the lobby now. Yet Raisman's just joined, so 17 of these boys from the P2 tier and girls, I should say, ready to rock and roll. Obviously, Spencer last week, Colin, forgot the mandatory two-stop and had his win taken away from him.
Oh yeah, oh, I was gutted for him, really. I mean, myself and JM were commentating last week on it, and we were just hoping that he was going to pit right at the end. But unfortunately, he didn't. So he obviously didn't complete the mandatory two stops, only doing the one stop, and unfortunately was disqualified. But so just a good reminder, really, to all the drivers, please read all the rules and regs. They are on SimGrid and they are on Discord. We do have loads of tutorial videos as well. So please give them a good read and a good watch, and hopefully then you won't get caught out like poor old Spencer did not last week, the week before.
Yeah, obviously last week was a bank holiday in the UK, so there wasn't a race. But I am back and fresh from my honeymoon, Colin. And I think another thing with this lobby restart, which is quite interesting, is that obviously all the drivers, there won't be any kind of hanging around, keeping tyres in qualifying sessions this season. It'll be all guns out blazing. And if drivers are clever about it, they can select a softer strategy and at some tracks do 4 runs.
Yeah, I mean, I've practiced it myself. You've got to be rather sharpish coming out of the pit lane. But you can just about squeeze in 4 runs. So it really makes qualifying a little bit more exciting, I think, because you know that they're not saving any tyres and they are just going for it each lap to get the best possible lap time. And of course, they can choose a different setup if they wish to. So they could have a qualifying setup and a race setup. So just because somebody's very, very quick in qualifying does not necessarily mean they're going to have that amount of pace in the race.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And, when there is some further weather, particularly rain, perhaps later on in the season in one session but not the other, it can mean that, drivers can really tone their cars for that particular session. So another good dynamic here at One Hub Racing. Obviously, you've got the engine replacement, the adaptive weather system, mandatory 2-stop, the double fastest lap points. So lots to play for here for these drivers.
Definitely, certainly is. So I would expect to see drivers going on the track pretty quickly. I don't think they're going to wait too long to get on the circuit. I think they're probably going to go out there pretty much straight away. I'm surprised. Yeah, I can see Jamie now. Jamie and Jess, they're going to go out together. Now, I wonder whether they're going to try and attempt a tow with each other.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks, isn't it? That, it can really be beneficial. It can sometimes gain you 3 or 4 attempts if you get it right. But as teammates often, decided we've never done it for the few reasons that it's so easy to get wrong as well.
It is.
But, I think some of these drivers, as you said, like the Red Bulls are going out line astern, they might be thinking that they can help each other. But again, that's going to compromise the fact that you can do 4 runs in this session. But if you get out early, you won't be able to do 4 runs if you're messing around with tows and things like that.
No, that's right. Another thing with the tow as well, if you haven't actually practiced the tow, you are going to be approaching the corner at a much greater speed than you would have done in your practice, so you're going to have to adjust your braking zone a bit. So they're not the easiest things to get right.
No, they're not, and I think at some tracks there's no point at it, but we've seen in the past, we've seen in real life F1 that sometimes at this track they end up doing a queue system and it gets all messy, and I think it was a few years ago, do you remember, where some of them didn't even get to do their lap because they crossed the line too late, they were faffing about.
Yeah, that's right.
Exit turn 2, wasn't it? And they were all just kind of...
So. Yeah.
So hopefully we don't see any of that. But we've got Specialist coming out of the pits on some medium tyres. Matthias Okeke also gone for the medium. We're seeing an overtake here in the pit lane. So one of the Haas has just overtaken Okeke as they exited the pits. Within the white lines, has to be said, but I'm not sure what that was all about.
He was obviously very keen to get on with it. Just on board.
He's in the wall. Matthias just went into the wall there, so it looked like he wasn't holding his controller or wheel or whatever he's using. Is there any damage to that yet? No, maybe there isn't. I'm not sure whether there's damage to that house car. It was Matthias who took a bounce off the inside wall there.
Well, let's hope he hasn't damaged his floor tray, because obviously that's not something that can be repaired in the stop. And we got a Haas round. Not entirely sure which one it is.
It's got to be Matthias again.
I think it's Matthias again, yeah.
So we're right on board with Jamie. He's in the middle sector. Is Jess just ahead? Yeah, so Jess is just ahead. We're right on board with Jess, and you can see Jamie in the shot there as well. So both Red Bulls on the same straight as they come into Ascari. Just looks like she's taking it slightly easily on her first lap because she want to get a banker in.
Yeah, that is the beauty of being able to have these 4 runs. You can afford to build your pace up and get a lap in, because it's so easy to invalidate round here, especially round Ascari. Yesterday in practice, that's all I was doing was invalidating at Ascari. And there's our first lap. Cowboy at 20.418. That's a very competitive first lap.
Oh, and JR Mason tops the time with a 20.2. So he's got some pace, does your dad here today in Monza.
That is, for a first run out of the blocks, that's very impressive. Oh, as Jamie loses it.
He's gone off, isn't he?
Luckily, I think it was just it was his warm rundown lap, so he did set a 21.3. I think he's hoping for... Oh, he's lost it, he's out! Jamie's out. Jamie, he spun on the exit, and he's lost his front right wheel. So that 21.3, that's all he's going to manage tonight.
Oh, poor Jamie. I know he was hoping to do better than that, but he won't be able to get another chance. Where has he lost the car?
I think it was coming out of turn 2 on the exit, I think.
Well, quite slow speeds. I wonder if he had an issue or something. If he previously damaged his car. Spencer, by the way, last week's winner on track, coming to Parabolica. It's a lovely corner this is. I love throwing the car in on new fresh tyres anyway. Used it's a bit sketchy, and he backs out. He's coming into the pits.
Oh, I see now. He's just, he invalidated. I don't know where. I think he might have actually invalidated in Ascari. So he's going to have to come back out again. M125 set a time now of 20.3. And his teammate just behind him on a 20.4. Obviously, Cowboy, the winner out, last time out in Austria, with his teammate just behind him. So I think I can see these 2 teammates fighting very, very hard this season. Obviously, M125 was the P3 champion last season. Cowboy hoping to steal the title from him this year.
Proverb comes across the line. He's going for, it looks to me like a double outlap on these soft compound tyres. So we'll see how that works out for him as he negotiates. I feel like the first chicane here, compared to previous games, it feels a lot better for me. I don't know if you feel similarly, but it feels wider.
Yeah, I feel as though I can attack this track a little bit harder than last season, to be honest. Especially in qualifying. TT, I find a bit of a struggle, but once you get into the qualifying mode, it really does come alive. Oh, there's a big wobble coming out of there. Coming out of the first Lesmo, sorry.
And Rageman dipped his wheel through the second chicane on the X. It's so easy to do, but he dipped his wheel onto the gravel, so that's going to cost him time. I think we've all done that at some point though, but Rageman, he comes up to Ascari. Let's see if he throws the car in. He went quite a way across that.
Invalidated it as well. Such a shame. It's so easy to do in that, especially the very first apex of the Ascari section. It's so easy just to nick a little bit too much. Oh, on the grass. But he's so obviously he'll be backing out now.
What's Giggle doing? Is he coming to complete the fast lap, or is he just... I think he might just be coming to complete. So 9/10 down on his previous test, but as we can see at the top of the screen, you'll see a lot of these drivers in the top 7 are back out on outlaps. That is because they're going to try and do 4 runs here in this session. So it's outlap, quick lap, in lap, and straight out of the garage again with a fresh set of boots, as we can see John's doing and leading the way. Currently on provisional pole with a 20.2. Has he ever got a pole in one hub, your dad, Paul? I don't think he has.
He has not, no. He's obviously had a race win that he had back in season 21 in Austria. Had a couple of podiums, but never had a pole. Come very close a couple of times, but never quite achieved it.
Well, let's jump on board with him, Cole, and why don't you talk us through your dad's lap?
So here he comes now into the first corner. Make sure you get a good apex. It's so easy to hit it. Little bit of curb there on the exit. Now it's nail the throttle now. Just keep it buried. use the smallest amount of steering that you can as you head into the second variante. Apologies for my Italian pronunciation there. Nice and late on the brakes, a little bit of curb. Nice, good exit. Now into the first Lesmo. Throw it in. Nice, good carrying speed. Now onto the second Lesmo. Such an important one this time because it's heading back down the straight. Gets the DRS wide open. There's a car ahead of him. He might get a little bit of a tow. Car nicely moves out of the way. Into Ascari. An awesome section. Nicked a little bit of the curve there. Very nice.
This is a good lap, I think.
This does look good. Now he's heading down. Now this corner. A parabolica. A tremendous corner. All about carrying as much speed as possible.
Which he did.
Is it going to be in the 19s? It's going to be a 20.1. He does improve. A great lap there from Dad.
Top 9 all on fast laps at the moment. KK down there as well on a fast lap. So expect these top 9 to all trying to be doing 4 runs in this session. M125, he's coming towards Parabolica now. Your dad absolutely threw that car into Parabolica on that latest lap that we were riding on board with him. More aggressive than I've seen anyone so far this session.
The confidence that Dad has got on this game at the minute is really, really astonishing. Obviously, I know a lot about what he's done. He has switched to full TC, and it seems to have given him a lot more confidence to throw the car in, and it's proving that it's helping him.
Funky's on a quick lap. M125 improved, but still behind your dad on the front row at the moment. Funky's on a quicker lap. What's this going to be? A 20.239. So he jumps up onto the front row now. Spencer is going to come in, and Jess as well will come in. They're both not going quicker. Ghost is currently a 10th up as he heads towards... no, he's not. Sorry, he just completed his lap, which was a 10th up. And then we got the Williams in 9th place getting a tow here. I'm not sure that's the right place you're going to want to get one, but nevertheless, that'll help him a bit as he comes across the line. What's that going to be? A 20.1! Cool.
Oh, look at that!
Look how close it is.
That's ridiculously close. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, there's a 10th covering the top 3 cars. Big shout out to Jess, 20.6. That's a very, very good lap, especially with still 7 minutes to go.
Well, that was on her first lap, I think, Cole, because the second lap she backed out of. And Matthias is going to come across the line. He's using mediums, by the way, and that was a 20.8, so that's a decent lap on mediums as well.
I'm really a bit confused why Matthias is still on the medium tyres. My only conclusion is that he's forgotten that there's a lobby restart. And he's trying to save softs, unless he just feels as though it's not a lot of points setting the fastest times on
specialist.
The on.
Across the line, this will be his first time set here tonight. It's going to be in the 20s, 20.8, but it was invalid, so he's going to have to go again.
I think that all these invalidations is going to transfer into quite a lot of 3-second time penalties in the race. As a Mercedes there goes through the escape road, he actually did a copying George Russell. I think it was it Proverb? Yeah, I think it must have been Proverb. He went straight through the chicane, copying George Russell from a couple of hours ago.
Cowboy just was coming down the main straight then, and just after he crossed the line, he dipped a wheel on the grass. So that's not going to help his lap time. Currently down in 6th position, just behind his teammate who's in the pits. So your dad's come back out on track. Currently leading the way. I think he might have to improve if he wants to keep this pole position. As you said, it's so tight at the top there. Look at that, who just jumped up there? Someone just jumped up into, was that Spencer? Yeah, Spencer just jumped up into 3rd position. So Williams 2nd and 3rd at the moment.
I'm really thinking that, because I was really expecting, to be honest, the 2 Ferrari boys to be almost comfortably ahead. But it just shows that certain drivers are better at certain tracks, and this is the fascinating thing. And I think it's going to rotate throughout. Oh, it's Rage Man! What a lap from Rage Man! 20.15 seconds, puts him on the front row.
Cool. Cowboy's going to back out of this latest lap. So I think Cowboy said in his pre-race interview or his driver's press conference that Austria just was his quickest track on this game. So he was happy to do well there, but he wasn't expecting to, be as competitive elsewhere. But as we look down the field, Lawrence is just starting a lap. Rageman obviously is on his way back to the pits. Your dad, he's just started a lap as well. So our current pole sitter, I don't want to give him too much airtime, but he's leading the way at the moment.
Yeah, let's have a look at his first sector then. Let's see. So he's about 3/4 of a tenth. Yeah, 3/4 of a tenth down. Let's see if he can try and gain any more time throughout the lap. He was a little bit wide there around the first Lesmo. Better then in the second Lesmo. Let's see what the second split time is going to be as he opens his DRS. Now, what's very interesting is, let's have a look. Oh, he's half a tenth up.
Well, he was quicker through Ascari, I'm sure of it, that time, Colt. He definitely carried more.
Astonishingly quick, didn't it?
Carried a lot more speed. So, come on, up to Parabolica. Let's ride on board. He threw it in here last time. Let's see if he can do it again. Yeah, he went a bit more cautious in, but he got on the power, I think, a bit early. So, will this be an improvement? Will it be in the 19s? A 19.8!
What a lap! That is astonishing. A 19.8. I didn't think we would see any 19s today. I genuinely didn't. But that's one marker being put down by Mason Senior.
Yeah, we got Ghost, by the way, who's on a quick lap, I believe, or has he just finished his lap? I think he might be on a quick lap. He's using his overtake, so this looks like a quick lap. Currently down in 12th position, so just over a second covers the top 11. So he comes in, throws it into Ascari, I should say, sorry. I was thinking of the chicane.
They need to rename it that, I like that. Now let's have a look. Now, another really interesting thing with qualifying as well is the usage of your ERS. It's so important to practice it. It's not just a case of nail it and off you go. You've really got to manage it. And Ghost backs out.
And that'll be his session over. I don't think he's going to be able to. Yeah, he's retired. He's done and dusted.
Yeah,
so
that's him done.
What about Mason's on his way back? So he won't be able to complete another lap. Nope.
Spencer Brown, no, he's invalidated, so he won't be setting another lap time.
Unless he's got enough fuel. He's kept his overtake at 100%, so if he's got enough fuel, he could potentially do another lap. He won't be able to change tyres, of course, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wonder how many of these drivers did actually do the softer tyre strap. M125. I think he's just about to start his flying lap now.
Matthias just backed out of his lap. He was a 10th up. Is he going to come into the pits? No, he's going to start a lap, but he's not going to start it very well because of the line that he's taken in to start the lap. So let's ride on board with M125. Of course, last season won half of the Constructors' Champion. Let's see if he can do anything.
So yeah, he needs. Well, he's up by just over half a tenth, but oh, that's it. That has done it. He won't improve now. That was a big mistake there. I think I was in the second Varianta. He lost it on the exit. Almost did a Norris with going off in the gravel. So I very much doubt this is going to be an improvement. We'll wait and see on the second split.
Yeah, he was the fastest of Sector 1, but no, you're right, he's 1.3 off. Lawrence retires, so don't know whether that's on track or not. Spencer's just over a tenth and a bit up, so this could possibly be in the 19th. What can he do here, Spencer, in the Williams? His teammate is 3/10 up, so don't expect him to improve, but what can Spencer do?
So he comes around the last corner Oh, it's a good line and good, really early on the throttle as well. This is going to be really tight. It's going to be a 19.9 front row for Spencer.
Ray just backed out as well. It's Williams' teammates off. Funky's a 10th up after sector 1. Remember, he's only on a 20.2, so a 10th is a big deal. Was he invalidated? Has Funky invalidated?
You're right, yes.
M125 came into the pit. Just jumped up, just did a 20.2, jumped up into 6th position. Of course, he does have that 3-place grid penalty, which will be applied. What about Cowboy? He's just started his lap. No, sorry, he's just coming to the end of his lap. He's just up on his previous time, so he's going to have to do something special in his last sector as M125 isn't able to improve, as we know, invalidated.
Cowboy's still a couple of hundredths down on his best. His best being a 20.4. Yeah, he's just didn't quite make it. So who have we got left?
That's
Funky.
it, I think.
That is it. And Mason gets his first pole. Absolutely brilliant. I know he will be absolutely delighted with that. Absolutely chuffed for him. But Jess, a 20.2, I'm sure that is 0.3 quicker than what she managed throughout the entirety of practice. Maybe she might have had the benefit of a toe, but even so, what a lap.
I'll give you the pleasure of reading out the order call.
So, in pole position for the Monza Grand Prix is J.R. Mason, 54 in the Aston Martin. Second place, Spencer Brown on the front row. Then we have Giggle. And Mike, I didn't spot Mike.
I didn't spot that either.
Place. What a lap that is. Sorry, Michael. I do apologise for not spotting that. That is absolutely tremendous. And that's... Oh, I missed the rest of them. My apologies to the rest of the drivers. But we'll be able to see them now because they're going to set the grid up. But wow, I mean that was, I was not expecting that from Mike, because he looked as though he was struggling throughout that session.
Yeah. Okay, left it right to last minute and jumped
Right
straight up the order, right from the back of the field. So just shows you, awesome lap. He's got the pace. If he can try and keep that consistent, throughout the race, you'd expect him to be up there. But yeah, what do you think will be going through your dad's head now, knowing that he's going to be leading off the line in his first ever Grand Prix? Just a reminder, this is a dummy start, and all the drivers should retire, and we will return to the lobby so that we can set the grid for the race.
Yeah, I think he'll be. I think he'll actually be a bit calmer. Because he was really worried. His concern was the first corner. He didn't want to be in the middle of the pack. He said, I'd much rather be either pole or at the back. So he's got his wish. So it's all about now, can he convert it? You know, let's hope he doesn't do a Norris and have a bad start, although Norris did manage to get into the first corner in P1, but it just shows how big the toe is around here. But so
just waiting on two drivers,
really. Yeah, just waiting on two. Just looking at the surprise. So the big surprise for me, to be honest, is M125 only getting 9th. I was really expecting him to be a bit further up than that. Cowboy in 11th. There we go. So now we're going to retire from the race now and go back to the lobby. So Jess will obviously, unfortunately, get that 3-place grid drop, but I am absolutely certain she is going to be absolutely delighted with that qualifying lap of hers. That was a stunning lap.
All I can see on my screen is carbon fibre and foam flying up in the air.
Absolute carnage. So yeah, just in case anyone's just suddenly turned on the stream, this isn't Destruction Derby for Formula One. So they're going to go back now to the lobby. The tier coordinators now will set the grid, and then we will get going. So obviously, nice to see there's a lot of love for Dad in the chat.
Yeah, he's a popular guy amongst the community. Shame about his son isn't the same though, right?
And Mark, or Axlock, as the community might know him as, is taking all credit. He says, one practice session with me yesterday and he gets pole the next day.
Well, I do a lot of practice with Axlock, and I don't get any pole positions, so don't know what he did, but I'll have a bit of that secret recipe.
So here we go then. So yeah, so now the drivers will go back to the lobby now. Now, obviously, some of these drivers might have a specific qualifying setup, so they're going to have to remember. Now, just drivers, please remember to load your setups, because obviously now you're going to be going straight into a race. So any drivers listening, please remember to load your setup.
Yeah, hopefully one of the tier coordinators will remind all the drivers as well in the tier chat on Discord. But perhaps we should take this moment, Cole, to run through some of our sponsors, perhaps run through some of our Media Day bits and bobs. Of course, round 2 here in Monza. We can run through the standings as well. So lots to go through during this time, but I'll start with the sponsors, Cole. Big, obviously, thanks to SimGrid, who we run our championships through. So a community of over 30,000 sim racing drivers they have now. And Next Level Racing, of course, for providing us with amazing prizes. They've been doing that since season 13. So big thank you to them. Vespertine, of course, you can go and purchase our merchandise through that. Plus, new for this season, some of the merchandise can be won as prizes, so that's exciting. And Pure Sim Gear, obviously, sim racing socks and sim racing gloves. I know Jess has a pair, and she's very happy with them. So up for grabs this season, another pair of either of those. Colin, did you want to run through the standings from last week?
Yeah, so obviously last week we had the mistake from Spencer Brown, which caused him to be disqualified despite crossing the line in first. So Cowboy currently leads the way after his victory in Austria on 21 points. M125 in second place on 17 points. Giggle with a tremendous podium last time out puts him in third place. Then in fourth we've got Skillrix, one of our new drivers into One Hub. In fifth place, Funky. In sixth place, Jamie. Seventh place, Whopping Proverb. Then eighth place, our pole sitter from today, Mason. Ninth, Salo. 10th, Ghost. 11th, Matthias. 12th is OKK. 13th is Quinn. 14th is Paul. 15th, Odog Shelby. 16th, Dr. Mew. 17th, Rageman. 18th, Lawrence. Jess in 19th place. And Specialist in 20th place. Now, looking at so obviously the drivers do a pre-race interview. And looking at OKK, who, as we know, is going to be starting this race in fourth position. So the questions that were given to him was, how are you feeling going into what could potentially be one big DRS train? Okeke says, feeling okay, better than Austria, so we'll take that. But what I find very interesting is, so he wrote this at 5 o'clock, and at 4:45, he had 15 minutes of practice. So to get that, and I know that he doesn't use assists as well, so he's got no race in line, which should help a little bit with no practice. So that's an astonishing result. So he must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really good qualifying result from him. as we said, he's shown glimpses of his speed, but it's just about going through the next 27 laps without, making mistakes, which often here can the places that you are or could make a mistake can often put you in the wall because they're so high speed. Obviously, if you make a mistake at turn one or something like that, there's not too much. You're not going at too high of a speed, or there's the runoff area. Whereas, like the Lesmos, for example, if you get on the outside curb, chances are you'll be heading to the inside wall pretty damn quickly, and chances are you could lose a wheel or two.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with Austria. Although we did have a couple of DNFs throughout the both tiers, genuinely that track you can make a mistake and get away with not colliding with a wall at too high a speed. But round here, chances are if you're going to make a big error and spin, the only thing that's going to stop you is a wall. Um, Turn one, you've got a nice big run off, but the walls are quite close, and they're going to have to be a little bit careful. So it's going to be very interesting, though, what tyre strategy that these drivers are thinking of doing.
Yeah, definitely. We haven't talked too much about tyres, obviously, because qualifying is kind of all out at the moment. But yeah, so we've obviously got the soft, the medium, and the hard. Last week, Colin, in Austria, a lot of the drivers preferred the hard tyre.
Yeah, they did. I think that was the most laps everyone did really was on that hard tyre. I'll be interested to see if that's going to be the same thought process for this race as well. But on this game, the hard tyre does seem a nice, solid, consistent tyre. Uh, the softs, certainly with Austria, went off very, very quickly. And I think the drivers that started on the softs in the first stint were getting rid of them in lap five. So
Which for a short track like Austria is saying something.
yeah, exactly. And this, Monza is quite, even though there's not that many corners because they are high speed, it is putting a lot of pressure on those tires. So I think we're going to find tyre wear being a bit of a difficulty for the drivers.
Well, obviously it is mandatory to stop. They know it's going to be dry. I think the cloud as well should help because sometimes, well, me personally, I find that the braking zone into Ascari when it's sunny is sometimes really difficult. But yeah, with a bit of cloud, it should help the drivers out there if anyone struggles like I do. But no, I think it's going to be really interesting. I think you might get the same strategy, but what order they run the tires here today, Colin, I think is going to be a big variety.
Yeah, I think so. I know that in Austria it was a huge variety. Some started on hard, some started on medium, some started on softs. So it'll be interesting to see if the same happens here.
We will confirm the grid as soon as we load into the lobby, of course, and we can see it on our screen. And yeah, just reminding the tier, don't forget your setups. You won't want to do a race on a preset around here.
Oof, no.
You can see the spare wings down the pit lane. Will anybody be needing those? It was pretty clean last week, wasn't it, Colt?
It was pretty clean. A couple of drivers did damage their front wings, but they were more racing incidents than anything. It was just a bit of misfortune, really. But yeah, the racing last week was tremendous, so I'm really hoping to see similar great standards tonight.
I just saw in Jamie's garage. You can see a Pirelli tire there. Um, if you can see it, can you see that, Col? It's a hard Pirelli tire.
Yes.
Well, it was red. It just changed to white. Um, so I don't
So
know.
is that's a good spot. That's start calling you Hawkeye. Um,
So
Now,
will
does
Jamie
that?
be starting on the hard? I'm not sure whether that was just coincidence or a glitch or what, but it definitely changed from red to white.
It could very well be the case. That would be very interesting to see now when it comes up. So obviously now the drivers are going to load their setups. They're going to be setting their strategies.
Fuel,
We
of course.
fuel, yeah. Because the last thing you want to do is run out. Now, I believe I'm pretty certain a driver did run out of fuel last week. Sorry, the week before. Um, I can't remember which driver it was, but I'm sure someone did actually run out of fuel on the last lap. Might have been Proverb. I will double check that. So obviously fuel's going to be very important. You don't want too much because obviously you're throwing lap time away, but you don't want to be too low that you end up running out on the last lap.
Well, obviously we're going to have a formation lap here, Colin, before we get going. But how important is it, in your professional opinion, to stay within the DRS of the car in front around this track?
It is absolutely crucial. It really is. And if you can break the driver behind their DRS, it really does make a big difference. The toe is quite strong around here as well. So you don't, because what you're going to find is it's quite easy to whittle away your ERS. Now around Austria, it did tend to recharge relatively quickly. It doesn't tend to recharge so well around Monza because you've only got a few heavy braking zones. So it's going to be really interesting. You know, everyone's going to be really, really keen to stay in that DRS of the driver ahead.
So they've been given the go-ahead to ready up by the tier coordinator. So we'll shortly confirm the grid with you. We will confirm what tyres everyone's on as we are about to get underway. So let's get up the data. Let's get on the tyres. So I'll quickly run through the tyres, Cole, and then you can run through the grid order. So we've got a lot of medium runners. Quite a few, the top 6 all choosing to start on mediums. Then you've got Funky and M125 both going for soft compound tyres. So they'll be looking to charge through a little bit earlier on, but expect to see them come into the pits. And then you've got Lawrence and Jess down in 10th after her grid penalty, of course. And then you've got a couple more softs, a couple mediums, a soft Skrillex down in 15th, and then Jamie, the only hard tyre. So he did start on the hard tyre, Cole, which is what that tyre changed in his garage. So that must be a little cheating indicator. If you're the number 1 Red Bull driver in the garage, we can see what tyre you start on.
Well, I'm certainly going to use that tactic in the future, that's for sure. So obviously we got Mason now starting his first ever one-hub race from pole position. Spencer Brown on the front row alongside of him. Giggle in 3rd place. I didn't spot Giggle up there either. That's another great result for Giggle. OKK in 4th. Rageman in 5th. Sallow 6th. Funky in 7th. M125, the first of the Ferraris, in 8th. Lawrence in 9th. Jess in 10th. Cowboy in 11th, Matthias in 12th, Proverb in 13th, Ghost in 14th, Skrillex in 15th, Jamie in 16th, and Specialist at the back of the grid in 17th.
Alrighty, well, as JR Mason comes across what will be the finish line, he'll be hoping to cross that first as well in 27 laps, but as he makes his way to the grid slot, you can see a few of the drivers in McLaren still weaving, still trying to get some temperature into those tyres. Jamie's really going to struggle on those hard tyres for the first lap whilst he gets them up to temperature, but nevertheless, he will be looking to take advantage of some mistakes. So, here we go. The final cars lining up on the grid. You can see that the lights are going to come on in a second. Here we go. 5 red lights here in Monza for round 2 of the P2 tier. Looks like a pretty even start. Looks like Spencer's got the jump on your dad already. The other Aston Martin seems to have got a good start as well. Funky up and M125 on those soft compound tyres. And trying to go side by side through 1 and 2. Bit bouncy there on the inside curve, but gets away with it. All looking clean so far. The 2 Aston Martins almost line astern now.
Well, that was a very, very good start from Spencer Brown, but a very aggressive attack from Mason, trying to go around the outside into turn 1. A very, very clean start. Fair play to all the drivers. I don't think I even saw one piece of carbon fibre. So it was a really, really lovely clean start there by pretty much every driver. All line astern. Now it's all about could see Spencer now out in front trying to pull that 1 second lead.
Yep, you can see he's trying to extend it, use his ERS to try and get it over a second, and therefore Gerald Mason won't be able to hang within that DRS, but it's just a case of when you decide to use your ERS around here. You can see up and down that Giggles had a bad start. He's down 7 positions. Rageman's down 6 positions. What's going on back there? Looks like shuffling right through Parabolic. There's almost 2x2x2x2 through Parabolica. Side by side.
Absolutely astonishing. I've never ever seen that. That was brilliant. They were side by side all the way around there. Some great driving, really respectful driving. Oh, we've got damage on. Oh,
so
on M125. He spun around turn 1. I don't think he's got damage. He think he got away with it, but he certainly wouldn't have done his tyres any good. And he's down to 16th.
Wow, I saw some carbon fibre just on the exit of turn 1 there. So not sure who that was from. Looked like a end plate as the cars getting close together through that second chicane. A couple swarming to try and see whether they can put the driver in front off. But pretty close. I'm just running on board with Salou, who is right behind the McLaren. DRS open. He's not using his ERS, but it seems to have a bit of a speed advantage, but the McLaren responds and the Williams driver lifts off, so thinking better of it for now. There's plenty to go in this race, and sometimes passing isn't always the ideal solution here to getting as far up the field.
No, that's right, because obviously then you're going to be under attack yourself. And I think it's Funky. Yeah, Funky is the driver with the front wing damage. So his front right end plate is completely missing. So he's really going to be suffering from quite a lot of understeer. I'm surprised he hasn't boxed. He is staying out for the time being.
Just moved up. Giggle moved up a place there as well. And the Ferrari sends it down the inside. Gets very close with the Sauber. Have they given each other enough room on the exit there? Looks like the RB's trying to pick up some pieces. Oh, sorry, no, that was the Alpine of Skrillex. Looked like he was trying to pick up some pieces there, but M125 down in 15th place.
And look at his front wing, Nick. Look at his front wing. He's going to have to box. It is completely broken on the left-hand side. So, unfortunately, it looks like he's compounded a mistake with another mistake, and it's so easy to do as a driver. You try forcing situations. So he's going to have to box early, come in onto those soft tyres.
Proverb had to lift off there, but he looks like he's still going to get the job down the inside. No, I think the Ferrari's playing some... Oh, and then there's contact. So definitely getting them both some wing damage now. So I think the Ferrari with that wing damage probably should have given up that position, if I'm being honest.
Yes, I agree. I think when you've got a damaged car like that, you've got to be a little respectful to the other drivers and just, especially this early in the race. You know, obviously towards the end, it's a bit different. Yeah, an M125 now in the pit lane. But look at Spencer Brown's lead. Look, he's got up to 2 seconds now. So he's driving very, very well.
Here comes Lawrence as well. OKK's flashing red on the back of his car. You're seeing yellow flags in Sector 1, and Lawrence is going to get into 3rd position, just about slows the car down. By the way, Giggle got ahead of Funky into Turn 1. Funky, of course, the other driver with that wing damage. Not sure what these yellow flags are flashing about, but Funky hanging on with that wing damage, it has to be said. Still only half a second off of Giggle, and then you've got Matthias and Jess, who are hounding the back of Ghost now.
Yeah, no, I'm really, really impressed with Jess's race pace at the minute. Oh, I think I saw a bit more carbon fibre flying over the air then.
That is just after the second Lesmo, and Salou's car is in the middle of the track against the inside wall. Such a shame because he has such good pace in qualifying. But he's obviously got on too much on the exit. We might be able to see it here on M125's. If they haven't cleared his car.
Cleared it, so... now we got a safety car. Mason decides against pitting. So he's decided to stay out. Now, I think that could be a strategic error there from Mason.
Everyone else, except for the top three.
Yeah.
This will help M125. He's still, I think, being last, but he won't be out of kind of position in terms of stops with everyone else. But yeah, interesting. The top three haven't come into the pits. Everyone else choosing to do so, whether they're double stacking or not. You would have think one of the Astons would have chosen to box their Cole.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, unless they think that, you know, there's going to be more safety cars coming, so they think it's a bit too soon. I think Jamie staying out on his hards is the right call. That makes perfect sense. So Mason will now lead the race again. So where is Spencer? Spencer Brown still managed to come out in 4th place.
Yeah, every driver behind him stopped, so he lost nothing. Well, I say nothing. He's gonna, start all this and carbon fiber there from a Red Bull. I think did Jamie just hit one of the cars in front? I thought I saw him going off track slightly, and then some carbon fiber.
Yeah, something certainly happened there. I don't know what that was all about. Now, one thing that I don't think Mason has ever done before is lead from a safety car restart. So that's going to be something very new for him. I don't think he wants to be that close to the safety car, to be honest. Now they're both deciding to pit.
What on earth have they done that for? They've just given away 1-2, and they're going to come out last.
Very, very peculiar strategy there from the drivers. I don't understand, unless they picked up damage.
Yeah, Okeke has. Okeke's got front, but he hasn't changed it. Okeke's got front wing damage, that end plate. So, do you think maybe that carbon fiber was Okeke hitting into the back of JR Mason?
Maybe so. Did that give Mason rear wing damage? He heard on the radio he's got damage and just boxed, hoping it was something repairable. I don't know. But yeah, that's really destroyed their race from this point of view. I know we've got a long way to go, but I don't understand the logic really of certainly from Mason to box now under the safety car. I don't really understand the plan here, to be honest.
Yeah, you've gone from first to last, and no advantage. Well, a lap younger tyre life, but with the hard tyre, that's not going to make too much of a difference. Yeah, I don't know what to say really. I don't know why either. I mean, I understand Okeke coming in to fix his wing, but obviously he didn't select that he wanted it fixed. So the only thing I could think, and I don't know, we'll find out in approximately 15 seconds, is if either of them box again for another set of hards and decide to try and go to the end. You could do 20 laps on hards round here, I think.
Unless that's what they're thinking. Let's see what he decides to do now. Is he going to box again or not? But having made the decision to stay out,
yeah.
I don't know why you would worry about coming in a lap later. Very strange.
Mason doesn't, but Okeke does. So Okeke hopefully going to fix his wing here. Funky would have been able to fix his in the stop, I imagine. But we'll run through what tyres everyone will be restarting on. And yeah, the front wing is going to get changed on this Aston Martin. He's gone for medium, so he's not even going to be able to do my suggested double stop and go to the end. So, cool, I have no idea.
Very, very strange. I think they've borrowed the McLaren strategy guy, I think, for this run. I would normally say Ferrari, but they pulled a blinder this afternoon, putting Leclerc on a one-stopper to win the Monza Grand Prix. Very emotional for all the Tifosi and the team. Are we going to see a Ferrari on the top step tonight in one hub? Cowboy at the moment is the best chance in 5th place.
New championship leader, of course, but it's a real mixture again of the hards and the mediums. Most drivers opting for the hards, but you've got Spencer, Giggle, Cowboy, safety cars coming in this lap, Jess, Funky, and OKK all on the medium tyres. Everyone else on the hard compound. Jamie, of course, being the only driver yet to complete a pit stop. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out for him. If there is another safety car, I do think he could be up for the win here. If another safety car came out at some point during this race and he could serve one of his stops behind it. But let's see, Jamie's slowing down. Of course, you've got to wait for that safety car to come in, and Jamie has until the start-finish line before he decides whether he wants to go. That safety car is flashing. And has Jamie gone? Yep, he's gone. But has he gone too early, Cole? Is this going to give the drivers behind chance to slipstream and get past? Spencer's going for it.
He's going to go down the inside. He's in the inside. Can he hold it? Can he find his braking point? Jamie tries hanging around the outside, but good respectful driving between the two drivers there. A nice clean safety car restart. Proverb gets a 10-second time penalty. He came in the pit lane. Another strange decision there from the drivers with their boxing, with their pit stop strategy. So with that 10-second time penalty, that's really going to hurt his race. But Spencer Brown back in the lead of this race.
KK's got ahead of JR Mason, so yeah, maybe there is wing damage. JR Mason's now 2 seconds off the back of his teammate, having started the safety car restart ahead. So it's gone to bad for worse for our pole sitter, but Spencer back where he belonged in the lead, almost a second. Lawrence behind, Jamie in 3rd position, obviously the only driver yet to stop on those old hard tyres. Looks like he's struggling a little bit, but they are 7 laps old, but 3 of those laps were behind the safety cars, so he should still have plenty of life in them.
Yeah, he should do, yeah. As Jess overtakes Matthias, so Matthias, he's got front wing damage. Matthias has lost his front wing end plate. He is not boxed though, but you can see that he's really struggling. Obviously he's got a time penalty. I expect to see more as well, so he's got 3 seconds, so that's not going to help his cause very much.
Skrillex. Is that Skrillex? No, the salvage specialist just slowed his car down from going into the back of Matthias there.
That was so close, and we got Funky on the grass. We're 3 wide going around turn 3. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
So come into the chicane, all keeping it nice and tidy. Fair play to these boys.
But it's all Lawrence,
Cowboys.
Yeah, look at Lawrence now. He's on those hard tyres. Spencer is just over a second, but Lawrence is keeping him honest, especially with those hard tyres. So this race has really been flipped on its head with that safety car.
Yeah, Jamie's just been passed by Cowboy now. But interestingly, that obviously you'd expect the next stint Spencer to run the hard and Lawrence to perhaps run the medium. So although Lawrence is going to have the advantage now in terms of tyres, towards the end of the race when the car is lighter, Jess is now on the back. Jess is being attacked by Funky. Funky just goes past, I think. Is that... Yeah, Funky's got past Jess, and looks like Skrillex has also got past Jess.
Yeah, that was a good move by Skrillex there. Late on the brakes, but perfectly fair. That was a really nice move. But look at the difference in strategy that everyone's on. We got what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers running the mediums, and the rest obviously on hards. So it's a big mixture. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this strategy plays out. M125 making progress.
I was going to say, I'm just riding on board with M125. I was previously on with Specialist, and through those Lesmos with that broken wing, Matthias was struggling massively. And fair play to Specialist, because heading into the second chicane, he had that think whether to go for it or not, and he decided to back out, and that's exactly what you want to see, because otherwise moves like that will just end up in the steward's office. I think Matthias has got to come in here. He's struggling through Ascari as well. M125 looks like he's about to, yep, he's got past now, so up into the points scoring positions in 10th.
Yeah, good recovery so far from M125. Obviously, safety car did help him. Is Matthias still not pitting? I really don't understand that. I mean, he's hardly got any of his right part of his front wing left. So he's going to be really struggling, especially in the braking zones and the high-speed corners. So I'd expect him to be plummeting down the order now.
Jess was attacking Skrillex there, but backed out of it into the braking zone. Got a poor exit, and now I think she's had to use a bit of hers because Specialist was looking to get a run on the exit of turn 1. So Specialist in M125 carving through the field nicely.
Yeah, Skrillex obviously is our new driver. I think he came 4th in Austria, so a very, very good result for him, especially as a rookie within One Hub. And he's up there in 7th place now as Jess is attacking him into Ascari. She's alongside, and move nicely done there by Jess.
And look at the run the M125's now got on this chain of cars ahead. He'll be looking to get, you know, we've often seen with M125 as Rageman's binned it. Where's that happened? Safety car.
Another safety car. Now what do they do?
I think that's going to be in Ascari that he's lost it. Because I'm on board with Proverb.
Every driver now, really speaking, do they have 2 sets of hard tyres? That I don't know.
If they selected the harder strategy, so Rageman's binned it on the exit of Ascari and left the session abruptly. So we know Proverb will come in and serve that penalty, that 10-second penalty he got for speeding in the pits. I think the top 5 pole might have passed the pit lane, but yeah, they're being passed. Yeah. They're being told to pass the safety car, so they passed the pit lane before the safety car came out, which is why they're not being held by it. But Jamie, that's worked out for him, though he's still got to stop again. But drivers who selected the harder strategy on the loading screen will have 2 hard compounded tyres.
Right, okay, so obviously if any driver that chose the balanced option, they will only have 1 set of hards available to them. I'm just trying to look through the grid now, so who have we got as box? So Lawrence, really speaking now, is in the net lead of this race. Having completed, let me just double check, I think he has completed.
He has, but he's got to take those mediums 15 laps. Obviously 3 of them will probably be behind the safety car, but that's still a big ask on those mediums.
That is a big ask from the practice that I did myself. You know, once you start going into double figures of laps with those tyres, even a bit before.
Jamie's retired.
Now, I know Jamie was suffering a bit, having an injury. Did he? I don't know whether he did it in the pit lane, did he? I think he did, yeah.
No, I think he's done it on the exit of Ascari.
Oh, really? Yes, that's right. Yeah, he wouldn't have reached the pit lane.
Yeah, he's there on the inside wall. So
that's really strange.
Has he been? I mean, he would have been in such a good position, obviously. You know, he would have jumped up the order on that first safety car and then used the second one to complete the first stop. But interestingly, the top cars, I think the top 4, haven't done their second stop. Now, the top 4 haven't. Everyone else has completed their mandatory pit stops that are required. So, if we have a look at what tyre they're on, Lawrence is going to struggle to go to the end, as will Matthias and Specialist. On those mediums, I think they're really going to struggle, but remains to be seen. Skrillex is leading the way.
So the top 4 really now are going to be hoping for another safety car. Pretty much, probably in the next 7 laps or so. And that really put them in a fantastic position. So if we have a little look, so is it just the top 4 that have stopped? So let's have a look. Yeah, so there's just the top 4 that have yet to complete their mandatory 2 stops. But but some drivers, they're going to be on, you know, medium tyres. Lawrence is going to be struggling. Everyone else should be okay, I would have thought.
Matthias will also struggle on those mediums. And obviously he's got a penalty as well. So Proverb has served his 10-second penalty and catching up towards the back of the field, got himself and Specialist being yet to catch up the back of the pack. But yeah, the top four as well. I mean, look at M125. He's done 10 laps on those hard tyres. So it's going to be quite soon after safety car, you'd think, that he needs to come into the pits. But who knows?
Yes, you would have thought so. Same with Ghost, really, and Mason. You know, they've done 9. Well, all of them, really. I mean, you've got 9, 10, 9, 8. So they're not going to be doing that many laps. The only reason I think maybe Mason didn't think he could stretch the mediums that long.
And if he didn't have another set of hards, then what do? You know?
Yeah, he was stuck between a rock and a hard place, I think. But big shout out to Jess, obviously the only remaining Red Bull driver at the minute. And for those of you who don't know, Jess has taken off quite a lot of assists this game. So she's running, I believe, no TC. Plus she switched from automatic to manual gears. So it's a big change for her. But she's coping with it so well, and you can see that, you know, each race she's getting better and better and better.
Yes,
really
so lap 14, Colin, of 27. It's been an eventful one here in Monza. It's not been straightforward. We haven't been able to see too many battles with the leaders, because every time Spencer's been able to get in the lead, he's been able to pull a couple seconds and then just let it hover around there. So obviously now down in 5th position, but on those fresh tyres, we know that the top 4 will have to stop again. And the safety car's coming in this lap, so that's because the back 2 of Specialist and Proverb have just caught up to the back of the field. So as we get ready to go racing, Skrillex is going to take us away. We didn't have a safety car last week, did we? Or last race in Austria?
No, we didn't. No, it was safety car free race last week. Obviously we've had this is the second, I believe, now this evening, as we are racing again.
Yep, and he goes quite early again. Ghost is looking to attack, but has to back out of it. What's Spencer doing? Ooh, Spencer... Gerald Mason broke quite early, caught Spencer out there, and Gerald Mason's had to take across the runoff area.
Oh.
Giving himself a 3-second penalty for that one, which can probably be turned into a corner cut warning, to be honest. But yeah, he lost it. He broke early and then I think lifted off and then ended up carrying too much speed.
Yes, I think so. It did look that way. I don't think he's got any damage. I think he's just about got away with it. We will have to wait and see. I can't see any visual damage on there to his front wing.
Sorry, Gold Specialist went off into the gravel at the first Lesmo and then came back on. And I think it was Proverb or Cowboy had to take avoiding action.
But Spencer Brown, now look, he's got a really good pace on these hard tyres. He really is in such a good position, because if he's really speaking now, he shouldn't be attacking too hard. He knows, that's the thing, he may not realise that the drivers ahead need to box. But if he does realise that, then he should be a little bit careful.
DRS enabled. Are we going to see a change for the lead here? The gap hovering about half a second as M125 goes down the inside. Skrillex gives him room, tries to get a better exit, but he's got Spencer now on the back of him on those fresh hard compound tyres.
This is now going to be very interesting now. So, is he going to be... So who's his next? Is Giggle, really? Because you got Lawrence, but he's going to really struggle towards the end. Giggle now. So Spencer's going to... Oh! There was contact there between Skillets. Now, did Skillets...
Yeah, he went off and came back on.
And he's damaged his front wing. He has damaged his front wing. He's got front wing end plate.
Yep.
That's going to be disastrous for him. I only caught the end of that there. I don't know exactly what happened. but surely he's gonna have to box. Is he gonna have enough pace in that car with that damage? I don't know, but he seems to be reeling in M125 quite easy, but obviously M125 on very old, hard tyres.
Yeah, we might see a change for the lead here. Of course, DRS is enabled. I don't think M125 will probably fight Spencer too hard here. Spencer goes to the outside. What's it gonna be? Yeah, M125 ducks back down in... Ooh, locks up, Spencer does. But able to get the car slowed down. And Pavard moving up. Okay, losing a couple positions as he spun. Yep, he's spun and so is Specialist. So was there contact between the two of them?
Could well be. I didn't catch it, unfortunately, but yeah, it does seem to be that they might have had a little incident there. Hopefully both drivers survived without any damage. I can't see any visual damage to their front wings. So hopefully now they can resettle in and try and catch up the back of the pack with Jess.
Yeah, Jess hasn't had the greatest restart. I thought she was in a good position, but down in 12th place at the moment. We've got Matthias and Funky now on the back of JR Mason. Giggle and his teammate down up in 4th and 5th position. So this could be a good result from McLaren. Will we see any team orders here? It looks like Giggles going for it. Is he behind? I think Ghost just gives that up. Obviously on different strategies.
Yeah, he's got him. Yeah, nice clean move there. Ghost didn't fight him too hard. I don't know whether... And Mason's in the pit lane. So Mason now completing his mandatory second pit stop. I can only assume he is going to go now on to the medium tyres, but he is going to come out in 14th place. Yes, ooh, on to the medium tyres he goes.
Specialist getting a 10-second speeding in the pit lane. The two Alpines going side by side through turn 1 and 2. And it looks like Ghost is going to be able to attack. Oh, he's on the outside. The Alpine's on the inside. What's it going to be? Norris and... Nope. Wasn't going to be like Norris and Piastri. And Ghost backs out of it. On those, obviously, both of them on 13-lap old hards. Are they going to try and go to softs? You would have to think that if they wanted to run the mediums, they would have come in by now.
Yes. Do you know what I was looking now? Look at Giggle. Now, we know that Spencer has front wing damage. He's going to be struggling, especially in the high-speed corners. You can see M125, despite 8-lap older tyres, is keeping with him. But Giggle, he looks as though he is catching slowly. Oh, we've got Ghost off. Yeah, I thought I saw a flash of orange at the exit of Ascari. So he's dropped now down to 11th place. Such a shame for Ghost. He was driving a really, really solid race there. I think, yeah, he's got away with damage. He's very lucky not to DNF going off on the exit there. But dropped him down, drops him into 11th place.
I mean, I'm looking at these strategies, and although M125 is keeping within the DRS of Spencer, he's going to drop down to 12th place when he pits. And I just don't see, when he comes out outside of the DRS zone, outside of a DRS train, how he's going to be able to even get back in the top 10.
It's going to be a real struggle for him, to be honest. My only thing, I can only assume that he is staying out there and praying for a safety car.
Matthias just went round the outside of Skrillex in the first Lesmo. Beautiful move. Beautiful.
Unfortunately, it's such a shame actually, because he's got that 3-second time penalty, and that's really going to hurt him. It would be... he's really driving well. I mean, Matthias has been in one-up now for quite a number of seasons. And he's improving each and every time he races. Now, he's up now in 5th. Is he catching Giggle? I'm not sure. The gap between Giggle now and M125 seems to have been a bit steady. As Skillrix gets 10 seconds in the pit lane.
He made a late call to come into the pits then. So that possibly was why. But look at this, M125 is thinking about, he was down to 3/10 into turn 1. Obviously he's lost a bit on the exit, but he was thinking about challenging for the lead there.
Yeah, I mean, he's really sticking with Spencer Brown. Obviously, we know that Spencer's got that front wing damage. Lawrence is really hounding Giggle at the minute. To be honest, I think if I was in Giggle's position now, I would probably let Lawrence through, use his DRS to pull myself towards M125 and Spencer Brown, because I cannot see Lawrence and Matthias in any sort of pace towards the end.
Proverb is coming down the outside up into 7th position, so he's had a good recovery. That safety car helped him so much. The Mercedes driver here tonight, but now Proverb on the back of last week's winner Cowboys. So we're seeing some flashing, Cole. That means they're running none. Does that mean they're running none, if the car is flashing, the red light?
Yeah, I think it's less than 10%, I think, is when it's flashing. So if we give a little update on, so Spencer Brown's got 14%. That's all he's got left. M125's got 67%, so he's got plenty left. Lawrence has got about 45, 46, and Giggle in the 30s. So Spencer Brown, he is using all of his. He's going to be. I'm surprised he's not a sitting duck, to be honest. I'm surprised that M125 hasn't already breezed past him.
And yeah, Lawrence has got ahead of Giggle. So as you said, perhaps Giggle was listening, and the Alpine driver has got through, especially sets the fastest lap of the race. Down the back in 14th position. Of course, there is a fastest lap point available for the driver outside the top 10, as well as the one inside the top 10 here in one hub. So Funky in 8th, just behind. But what can Lawrence do on these medium tyres? You have to say they're going to start going off soon. Already 9 laps old. The tyres obviously on the same strategy.
Yeah, Giggle now sees right back on him again. I think this is what they should be doing, really, is using each other's DRS to try and pull themselves forward. Strange decision from Giggle there. He overtook before the DRS, so Lawrence has DRS and he's passed him again as Ghost pits.
So it's just M125, the only driver yet to complete the mandatory 2-stop.
He's leaving it very, very late as well.
I think he's hoping for another safety car. I can only think.
Yeah, that can be only my assumption. I just hope and pray that he hasn't forgotten, and thought he's done 2 stops and he hasn't.
He just had a moment as well. I think those hard tyres after 18 laps are really starting to suffer, and he's now got Lawrence and Giggle all over the back of him.
Yes, look at this now. So, and he's got
Cowboys out.
Safety car.
Cowboys in the wall. Out. The first Lesmo.
M125, you very, very lucky boy. That's going to really, really save him. Now, is anyone going to pit for softs?
Yes, this will be interesting. Spencer must be so frustrated. Every time he gets a 2-second lead, a safety car comes out. But this could bring a lot of drivers back into play. Lawrence has surely got to come into the pits. But let's see what the top 4 drivers do.
Now,
the tyres as well. Spencer's staying out. So has Giggles. Obviously, they're on the hard tyres.
What are they going to do? That's the question here.
Funky's in. Proverb's in. They're all coming in, Colt. This means the top 2 are going to be under attack massively.
I would not want to be in Spencer Brown or Giggle's position at the start of the restart of this race. So everyone's pitting. Now, is Mason going to pit? Oh, Mason gets 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Skrillex is in. I was riding on board with your dad when he did that. It didn't look like he was going too quick. I think he might have just let go of the brake. And yeah, it's frustrating race for him after his first pole position, but he's got to take the confidence of the pace that he had within that Aston Martin.
Yeah, I mean, he's really got the pace. In Austria, he was very unfortunate. Desperately needed a safety car and didn't get one, and unfortunately it's with the strategy choices that they made, it's really hurt him this time round.
Look at the tyres. Gosh, if you're the top two, you're going to be crying.
Oh, look at everyone on softs. I mean, Spencer, Brown and Giggle could find themselves outside of the top 10 here if they're unfortunate.
Yep, they're going to be attacked. I think M125 has got extremely lucky there. Obviously, his teammate paid the price, last week's winner. But could that mean that another Ferrari wins round 2? We'll have to wait and see. Lap 23 out of 27, Colin. Our third safety car here in the P2 tier. It's been an exciting race so far. And interestingly, Spencer's actually going to do his first safety car restart after not being in the lead of the last 2.
Yeah, it's going to be really strange for him. It's going to be very difficult for him to keep. His only hope really is Giggle. I mean, there's not going to be many laps left, is there? There's only going to be 1 or 2 laps left. Giggle's going to be under a lot of pressure. If he can hold up M125 and the rest of them long enough, he might be okay. But the tyre delta difference between 12, 13, 14, 15 lap old hards to brand new softs is going to be astonishing.
Also, it's the tyre warm-up, Cole, at the safety car restart. The softs are going to be in a much better window than those hards.
Yes, precisely, yeah, very true.
So difficult to get temperature into those hard combos. Once they've got temperature, then they're a really solid, consistent tyre, but getting temperature into them, and you can see him on 25 leading, he wants that safety car completely into the pits. But you've got, will it come in this lap? I'm not so sure. I think that Sauber of Specialist is too far behind.
It's going to be very difficult now for like you said, Nick, for the top 2 to keep tyre temperature in. Now, is the safety car going to come? Specialist, like you said, he's quite far behind, isn't he? Will it do another lap, is the question. Spencer and Giggle will be praying that there's an extra lap. Where have they got to? Yeah, it's too late. It would have come in by now.
Yep,
yeah,
so they'll have just 2 racing laps, just 1 DRS lap. Oh, there's contact there.
I thought that. Was there any carbon fibre going up?
There was something.
Like it to me.
There was something that came off. I don't know who it came off from, but it looked like something flew off. I think it was Proverb and Matthias that got a bit too close.
Let's have a look at Proverb's car. See if he's got any front wing damage. No, I don't think so. I think they might have got away with it. Yeah, I can't see any obvious damage there. What about Jess? No, Jess' car's in good nick.
Cowboy doesn't seem very happy in the chat. I didn't obviously see the incident, but maybe it wasn't just him involved. That's caused his car to go into the wall on the first Lesmo. But it's characteristically a corner where you kind of only go into the wall if you're by yourself and pushing a bit too much.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, especially when you come towards the end, drivers do get a bit desperate. It's so important as well that you give the driver ahead almost notification that you're coming through. If you're going to do a late move, they're not going to be looking at you, they're going to be looking at the apex. So it's really important to let the other driver be aware that you are attempting a maneuver. Whoa!
Safety car.
I think it was just
in this
I think it was just a glitch then. It looked as though a car went flying in the wall, but I think it was just a visual glitch. But we are about to go racing.
We will have 2 laps. Only the last lap will be under DRS conditions. So Spencer, is he going to be able to survive to take his first win? Obviously, he was disqualified last week for not doing the mandatory 2-stop. He's got Giggle behind to have a bit of backup. Now, the last 2 restarts, they've gone quite early. If it was me, I would go right at the line.
I think I would as well. I think I'd leave it as late as possible. Oh, Liz. Yeah, he's gone now. Yeah, that was quite late, yeah. And M125 is already alongside Giggle. Is he going to have him into turn one? He's going to go for it.
Late lunge. They're going to give each other room. Oh, Giggle goes a bit wide, pushes him on. Oh, that's, yeah. M125 gave Giggle plenty of room there. Giggle just carried a bit too much speed. But Spencer will be very happy with that restart. What can Lawrence do? OKK retired, by the way, somewhere there. McLaren goes through the runoff area. That's Giggle.
Look at Lawrence, he's really hunting him down. Don't forget, Spencer's still got that front wing damage as well. So another strange decision why he didn't pit.
Does Spencer have front wing damage?
Yes, he's got his front wing end plate, which he's had broken for.
Oh yeah.
15 laps, I think. But look at the grip difference. Oh, we got a yellow flag in sector 3. I think it was Proverb off the track. Yeah, I think it was Proverb.
Oh, he's gone deep. Spencer's gone deep. And look at this. Lawrence has taken the lead.
Lawrence leads the race. Now is the last lap of the race. So all Spencer Brown can do now. Very impressed with I think Giggle might be in the steward's office. But I'm still very impressed he's managed to stay ahead of M125.
Yeah, I could see that going to the steward's office. I'd feel a bit hard done by if I was M125. But nevertheless, Spencer's only 3/10 behind. Can he do anything here? Does Lawrence have enough errors to defend? Obviously, there's only going to be one DRS zone because the other one will be the start-finish straight. Spencer carrying a lot more speed through that chicane. Lawrence coming through to the first. Lesmo. All tidy so far. Sorry we haven't been able to watch further down. We're obviously keeping an eye on what's it going to be. I think it's too much. I think those soft tyres gave a great exit for Lawrence, as much as Spencer's going to try and dump his errors down this last DRS zone.
Yeah, I think that's just
Lawrence has gone. Lawrence has made a slight mistake there. He carried a bit too much speed.
Is he going to get it? Look at Spencer. He's using all his DRS. He hasn't got enough left. It's going to have to be a hell of a lunge. No, he keeps it. What a finish. Is it going to be Lawrence? Yes, just. Lawrence wins Monza.
Oh, M125 gets Giggle, who drops down. I think that was because of a penalty. So M125 on the podium, Jess up to 4th, so great recovery from her. Proverb in 5th, great recovery. Giggle obviously finished 16-lap-old hard tyres, but I can see him ending up in the steward's office for that incident with M125 at the restart.
Yes, I think so. It was overly aggressive, I think, from Giggle. It'll be interesting to see if there is a steward's report. I don't think M125 will be particularly delighted with that. But everyone is not very happy with the final restart.
I didn't really see too much that went wrong, but obviously we were on board with the kind of the top two. Apparently Spencer's been accused of speeding up and then slowing down again. So to be honest, I didn't notice that, and we were, I think, pretty close to being on board with him or around his car. But yeah, nevertheless, do you want to do the honours and run us through?
So our winner this evening is Lawrence in the Alpine. A great drive. Second, Spencer Brown. After disappointment from last week, does get the fastest lap of the race as well. M125 in 3rd. Jess in 4th. A great result from Jess. She'll be delighted with that. Robin Proverb in 5th. Giggle in 6th. Matthias in 7th. Skillix in 8th. Ghost in 9th, Funky in 10th, Specialist in 11th. A disappointing race for Mason, but does get a point for 12th place. OKK, Cowboy, Jamie, Rage and Salah all DNF'd. So it's going to be a very interesting season. You can see how up and down it is. You know, you got Mason with great pace, but unfortunately couldn't convert it. But what a race. Absolutely everything. So my question to you, Nick, as your first commentary of F124, is who is your driver of the day?
Well, I just want to quickly point out that of the 14 drivers, the top 14 drivers, all of them were in their fastest lap was in the 22s, except for two of them. So it just shows you how competitive this grid is. But my driver of the day nomination has to go to Lawrence, coming from ninth on the grid to win the race. There were some other standout performers, but I'm going to give it to him. And my question is going to be, did you plan to go to the end on those medium tyres? And how relieved were you when that final safety car came out?
That's a good question. I bet they were delighted. I I have to go for Jess. I have to for fourth place, especially she's had her struggles trying to learn new assists, um, but to get fourth around there and avoid all of the carnage is an exceptional result. Um, I'd like to give a big shout out mine to Dad for getting pole. Um, he'll be delighted with that. Let's hope that he takes that as a positive. He said he wanted a pole. He's now converted everything now. So he's had a pole, he's had a race win, he's had a podium, and he's had a trophy for the Constructors' Championship. So I'm sure you'd be delighted with that.
Yeah, definitely just one more to tick off his bucket list. And with the sort of pace he showed in qualifying and that we knew he had in the race, then I think it's something that he definitely can achieve. If not this season, maybe next season. But yeah, well done to everyone. Three safety cars here tonight in Monza, so perhaps not the cleanest of races, but nevertheless, Steward's office will be open tomorrow. So make sure no arguing in the chat. Just get your incidents in there. Obviously, the stewards, I'm sure, will be looking at that final safety car restart. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Colin, been a pleasure to be back in the commentary box with you, and looking forward to racing shortly.
Yes, so we'll be kicking off P1 in just under 30 minutes' time.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone. Well done to all the drivers taking part today, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. Take care and have a good evening.
Good night, all.